Right, hello, time for a stream. I didn't end up doing one yesterday just because I thought the entire thing would turn into, have you heard Prince Philip has died every time they join the chat. So I'm hoping today that's not going to be so big a deal. I'm sure there'll be still a lot of people saying it. But, yesterday I was fairly tired and I didn't want I didn't want an entire stream being derailed by, oh no, Prince Philip's died. So, hopefully today we can avoid that for most of the stream. There's no real theme for this one, so just bring up whatever as long as it's not inappropriate and we can chat about it. But I ended up just sort of feeling a bit too tired to do a stream yesterday. Plus, I thought just with Prince Philip dying being in the news, that was going to be all anybody wanted to talk about, and I don't really care too much about the royal family either way. The Queen and Prince Philip are probably the only royals I actually sort of like. So, I didn't want the whole stream turning into that. So if I can see anybody talking, I'll let you know. So far, the live chat is empty. Oh, wait, I'll do the pop-out chat because it turns out the regular live chat is broken. So hello to everybody joining. But yeah, for some reason, the regular chat is broken on YouTube again. So I'm going to have to do it as pop-out chat. Right, there we go. So I'm not too bad, Grenadier. I'm just a bit tired, in all honesty. One of those weird days today where I had to lay in and still felt tired. But no, I don't have any Dutch gas masks. And as usual, if people are spamming weird shit, they're just getting instantly blocked. So there you go for the person saying, "Well, I'm doing something illegal. What do I do?" Don't make a post on it. Oh well, right. Well, that sounds like commies for you. I'm all right, Mike. As I said, I'm a bit tired. I would have watched your stream last night, but ended up being quite tired in the evening. But yeah, I didn't do a stream yesterday. I can't remember if I said to you just because I thought yesterday I was tired, and then I thought if I do, and if it turns out to be everybody just constantly going on about Prince Philip, I don't know if I'd be able to put up with it. It would just probably put me in a mood. Because that's all it was on the news yesterday. It's like you couldn't even hear if there was anything important happening elsewhere in the world. I even tried looking up some foreign news stations, and they were just on about Prince Philip or, constantly. Grenadier, I've done videos on this subject. As I said, because of Corona, I can't really advise you on that. So, don't know who that is, Brighter. I don't know, wars going on in some country, DT. Like, I'm pretty sure lots of people are dying in Myanmar constantly. Oh, that's interesting. Let me have a look, Lewis. Because or do you mean like you're in the US and you looked at the UK eBay and then saw how many masks there are that don't normally turn up there? Sky, there's a video where I've literally got them doing a side-by-side comparison. I won't be getting them out on the stream, but if you watch the video where I've done a direct comparison, watch that because that's exactly what you're asking. But yeah, like saying that's the problem with the news when somebody famous sort of dies, is that's all the news turns into. So, is there anything interesting to talk about that's not Prince Philip? That's what I want to know. Yeah, you mean the bloke's name isn't Martin. You mean Paul Ritter, don't you? But yeah, like I said, that was a shame about Paul Ritter dying because he was only 54 as he had a brain tumor. Right, I'm just warning people now, because I'm not in the mood for it. If there's people spamming questions they already know the answer to, I'm just going to block them. But everybody who watches these videos knows what my favourite mask is, and when I tell them, they'll just keep spamming it. Somebody's already answered that person who said it already. Depends how much it is, Grenadier. If an M2000 is under €100 or dollars, yes. If it's over that, probably not. Flazzy knows the answer. Yeah, Ryan, but you don't hear about that, do you, because of Prince Philip? You see, if I was an evil genius, if I was Putin or whatever, I'd definitely do no good deeds when Prince Philip dies or something similar. So when the Queen dies, and it's an even bigger thing on the news, that would be after when you invade a country because nobody would care. Did you like it, Nick? But yeah, as I was saying, like, you know, at the moment, there's not much really to talk about on the news because anything that is interesting has just been buried by the fact a moany racist old bloke's died, who I quite liked, in all honesty, but you know. There isn't a price limit on gas mask, Kermit, unless you mean what would I personally pay. If you mean like what do some masks cost the industry and militaries buy, literally thousands of pounds or dollars each. There was a bit of snow yesterday, Mr. Slavinator, but do you mean people who are upset by things? Yeah, I think that's exactly it, Dan, isn't it? He's the granddad who couldn't shut up when he was meant to shut up. Yeah, well, David, we've got the problem of COVID cases are massively going down in the UK, but the government doesn't want to give up its emergency powers. I already have Warnox. Please learn how to search my channel. All right, I'm getting rid of the person that's spamming questions that they know the answers to. It's quite obvious when somebody comes on here and they're trying to basically just be annoying, because what they'll do is they'll ask questions that they already know the answers to all in a row, which means it's not interesting for anybody in the stream. All right, Ron. Well, it depends, Brighto. Is there a legal size for what you can carry in your country? Because if you're in the UK, you want an open hole that's under 3 inches with no lock on it. But if you're, like, you know, in a country where there's no rules on that, you probably want a locking one of whatever the best size is for your personal use. Yeah, exactly, Flazzy. That's why I didn't do one yesterday, because I thought it was going to be even worse if I did one yesterday with nobody just spamming anything but Philip. But it's also now just turning into what's your favourite gas mask type spam questions. Not in this room. There you go. That's an interesting answer. In a bed. Not in this room. Wow, that's hard to answer. I've actually got one of the 9-inch ones, Brighthole, but I find that's a bit too long for a knife with a handle like an open L. I prefer the ones that are about 5 or 6 inches of an open L for practicality. I tell you what I can do. I don't know how well this will work. I don't know if it lets you do it on the streams in progress. Let me have a look, because if so, I've got a way of fixing all the irritating comments. First of all, I should have put slow mode on from the start, which I didn't think to do. But there might be a way I can fix this. When I can work out how you do it now, because they keep changing where the controls go for the streams. Might be live control panel, actually. Right, here we go. Live chat. Right, apologies to anybody that isn't a member, but there's an easy way of fixing it, and it's to join in and be a member. But there you go. Thank you, Warbros. Yeah, what's happened now is, yeah, I've been playing a bit of the online Flazzy, but that's been it. I've mostly just been doing daily challenges. But yeah, if people want to know why the members mode's gone on, it's because there were just too many stupid questions being made by throwaway accounts. So there we go. It's now a members-only stream where anybody can watch it. So what in-depth topics shall we talk about where we can actually discuss them properly? Oh, it might be Brighto. Yeah, they might be metric. Yeah, so 9 centimeters isn't too big, is it? But yeah, I keep thinking as knives as in inches because that's what the legal UK thing is. But you're correct. But yeah, I've got a knife now which I think is like 12 centimeters or something. But yeah, that's the issue with all that sort of stuff. Is yeah, a lot of the time with knives, it depends what's legal in your country. Because if you lived anywhere and you could carry, you know, any sort of knife you wanted, whatever fixed blade, whatever length, then I think people's opinion would change quite a lot. But you know, when it ends up being, you know, what can you legally carry? That pretty much always boils it down because it's basically saying you can either legally carry something or you can carry something that could get you in trouble. Yeah, Rich, it's in the thing where you can turn slow mode on. So I was thinking about just turning slow mode on, and then I thought, no, let's just convert this into a members stream, considering all the you know, comments all of a sudden about you know, what is your favorite gas mask? Have you done a video on this? You know, I'm too lazy to look up videos on your channel, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm going to put a video on tomorrow that's another one Hype's done, which is comparing you know, 4 different night visions, and he's done them where like each one takes up a quarter of the screen, like doing the exact same video, which is quite good. So I've downloaded that and I'll upload that tomorrow. I think he's got the names of all the night vision units in the video, so you know which one's which. Did anybody bring up anything interesting on your stream last night? Mike has said I was just a bit too tired to watch it, in all honesty, last night. I think I turned it on at one point. It was people arguing about what was legal or illegal, and I thought, oh, I can't be bothered to sit through this and try and moderate it. Well, exactly, Flazzy, and it's the thing that all those knives where people do get stabbed are ones that are illegal to carry anyway, but it has no effect on people who are, you know, intent on going out to cause murder or grievous bodily harm. So that's where you run into a lot of these problems, isn't it? Because if you simply say, basically, if you're a law-abiding person, you're limited to this, but a criminal will basically carry whatever because they haven't got good intentions in mind, it never works. Yeah, I can understand it a bit more, Nick, if you are going for a complete joke size one. It's just for me, it's like I've got one that's a bit on the bigger side, and that becomes a bit impractical. All right, yeah, I might have just clicked onto it on a bad time. But as I said, I wasn't really up that late last night. But yeah, I just thought, oh, I'll listen in for 5 minutes. And then it was people saying like, oh, no, you're allowed this, you're not allowed this. I don't know if it was about knives or crossbows or whatever. And I thought, oh, I can't be bothered to listen to this. It's a typical sort of thing where then people are going to be going, you know, oh, but what if you did this like this? Then it wouldn't be breaking the law. Saying about that, Flazzy, did you hear that Joe Biden wants to start doing the British thing of putting braces on handguns? As in, that will fix people shooting each other, apparently. Yeah, strange, isn't it, Brighto, when you get some laws like that where things are legal and then other things aren't? I'm sure, Flazzy, with that sort of thing, it's more like accidental deaths and suicide, isn't it, with those sort of things? Like somebody being careless on a range somewhere, or, you know, during a pheasant shoot type thing, or somebody killing themselves. I doubt, yeah, legal ones are very often used for crime, especially because you'd want them sawn off, wouldn't you, for like porting purposes, carrying them around. Yeah, it might have just been a very short time thing, but I definitely, when I clicked on, there was people saying about like, no, you are allowed something or not allowed something on it, and I thought, oh no, one of these conversations. But yeah, maybe it was literally like a 3-minute discussion out the whole stream. And I clicked on Sod's Law at just the wrong time. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's Ron. It's basically what you're carrying is depending on what you're doing, which is like if you're going in the woods for a day out, you can have a bushcrafting knife on you and probably nobody's going to care. I mean, the reality that you'll bump into a policeman is pretty much non-existent. But again, it's, do you have a reason for doing it? And I think that's where a lot of people don't really get the rules, do they? That it has to be, you know, reasonable use. Yeah, well, weren't they also on about banning 50 BMG rifles in the UK, like anti-material style rifles, even though I wasn't aware of anybody getting shot with a 50 BMG in the UK? But it was one of those things where politicians think they suddenly need to put a law on it because there's not a law on it. Welcome to the members. Thank you. You can chat with us now. Yeah, normally if it's a members stream for the people who don't know, you can't see them at all. It's just this one started off as a public stream. Too many people spam stupid questions, so rather than just stopping the stream, I turned it into a members one. But hello. Yeah, those are good, aren't they, Mike? The ones which have like a locking mechanism that isn't strictly a dodgy locking system with the law. But yeah, in all honesty, my Swiss Army knife is my knife that normally gets the most use just because it's on my keyring. Because I just don't even worry about having it on my keyring now. It just goes anywhere I go. But that's also because at the moment you can't really do anything sociable, can you? So, I have the Swiss Army knife on my keyring, and then if I need to, I'm using knives for other things. It's a good idea, Mike, isn't it? It's it's bait basically. Oh, here's a stream you can join in. Wait, no, you can't. It's hidden behind a paywall. There are definitely, all right, Vladimir. There are definitely non-locking knives that are good that aren't Swiss Army knives. But yeah, the thing is, if you're in a country where you can have locking knives for anything, you might as well use them for anything. I'm trying to think which other non-locking knives I've got. There are some which are like Swiss Army knives, but they're slightly even in the UK, they fall under all the legal parameters for an everyday carry knife. But they're a bit of a better blade and handle than Swiss Army knife. That's good, JJ. Like I said, I'm very tempted to get one. If when it's payday, they've still got some in, I'll get another one. If not, then no loss, because obviously I'm mainly saving for the bunker. But the Schmidt, I keep wanting to call them Schwitt Rubins, but yeah, the Swiss Schmidt Rubins are very, very nice for what they are, aren't they? Let me look up a Trafalgar, Flazzy. Trafalgar pocket knife. Is that a Rolls-Royce Trafalgar? Because that's coming up on the images. There's also the ones that are like the Lamfoot style ones that look quite good coming up. But yeah, that's the problem with Google, is it's showing like loads of very different designs. Or various, designs for the same thing. There's some that look like Hoganals coming up on that, and some that look quite different. But yeah, like the thing is, the main thing I end up using a knife for at the moment, which probably doesn't surprise people, is opening packaging. Like when you get a cardboard box where somebody's absolutely covered it in duct tape for like postage stuff. Yeah, I think technically mods, Newt, like you've just proven, if you're a mod, you can come on without being a member. The only reason, if you don't know, Newt, why there's so many mods on now, it's because we are finding when I was doing members streams, half the people's comments were just being deleted by YouTube. So I had to make people mods and tell them like not to bother moderating, just so they could actually chat with us normally without YouTube just randomly hiding words for no reason. Well, I think the proof is, JJ, it's probably just on a list of obsolete calibers. I mean, but the thing is, what is the probability of that happening to you? If you say, like, you'd either have to have somebody illegally waste police time telling them that your obsolete gun wasn't an obsolete gun for them to do that, or whatever. That isn't a bad price, Thomas. How big is it? But obviously, sadly, I'm not in Denmark, but how does that compare to like nearby house prices, and what's the square foot or like size of it compared to houses for that price? Well, that's one of the pay models, isn't it? They do on OnlyFans, Richard. Some girls do the thing of pay per month to view their content, and I think loads do the thing, don't they, where it's free, but every single bit of content is tip $1 or something to see it. I don't know which one gets you more things. I wouldn't know, but well, I know that's like the two different models. All right, let me look that up. Thomas, looks interesting. I get. Oh, so you have the problem over there, do you? Where the news always constantly talks about it. So if something like that's for sale, you can't not have the news show everybody it. Oh, so it's quite a big bunker then, that one. It's like an actual proper like civil shelter type one. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to drain it out if you bought it. But yeah, that's a lot bigger than something like an ROC post you'd get in the UK for that money. But yeah, I just did, Thomas. Yeah, like the floor plan's lower down, isn't it? So it looks like there's several dining room type things, offices or whatever. But yeah, like I saying, with the UK ones, you occasionally get the bigger UK ones go for sale like that, but sadly not very often. And that's also because the UK didn't build many bunkers like that. Oh, and I'll say, I don't know if I said it before, but thank you to the person, because they might be watching now, that donated on, I think they donated on Ko-fi after I did a stream, but I don't know if they caught the stream and then when they heard me say about donations during the stream, I think they did it afterwards, because I got one, at a time I wasn't streaming, and somebody saying thanks for all the videos. I did send them a thank you, but thank you to that person if they actually come on. So yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing we have here, Thomas, as well, is in the UK, obviously, you'll find things like ROC posts, the price of them massively vary depending on where they sell in the UK. Because obviously, if they go for sale in an area where land is more valuable, they're going to cost more. Yeah. Suppose, yeah, just dig a pit going further and further down Brighton and hope it doesn't collapse in on you. But like I said, there's not many for sale in the UK. It's just because the ROC posts exist that they become an actual thing. Yeah, I'll have a look on one of those property websites again, but I don't think there's been anything, new on them for a while. Yeah, there has been some new bits on them, but nothing, nothing to, What's also interesting as well as the ROC post, they've got one on here that sold a while ago. Is the MOD now and again sells remote, radar stations they don't use anymore. So that's quite cool, isn't it? The idea that you could buy a really out of the middle of nowhere, fenced off little compound because the MOD sold it because they don't use that station anymore. Yeah, that's the thing, Mike. The closest you get to basement is some townhouses that have little cellars in them, like little coal cellars or wine cellars, don't you? That's about it. But yeah, in the UK, for people who aren't from the UK, they probably don't know this, it's very, very rare to have houses with cellars or basements here. No, it sounds interesting, Brighton. I assume when you say antacid, it's not something like an antacid you take if you've got trapped wind and heartburn. I'm assuming it's an actual physical anti-acid NBC suit style thing. But yeah, what's weird in the UK, I don't know if you know this, is even a lot of the stately homes don't have basements or cellars, or they have very small ones compared to the size of the things. Because that surprised me is sometimes when you go on a day out, I know this is pre-COVID where you could do all this stuff, but you go for a day out around a stately home type thing, or a little castle type thing, manor house, those things. A lot of them, even the ones where nobody lives there now and you're allowed around pretty much everywhere on them, they literally don't have a basement, or if they do, it's tiny compared to how many rooms there are in the house. Oh, that sounds interesting, Rich. I have no idea, Flazzy. Which do you think would cost less for the ammo, and which do you think you'd have more fun using? They're probably like inverse of each other, aren't they? Like the more the ammo costs, the more fun it will probably be. But... Vladimir made a joke. Built in 1987 and flooded. What a bilge deal. Yeah, exactly, Nick. You might have a bit of a wine cellar there, a bit of a coal cellar. Is that like the newer stuff, Anvalto? Because like they used to do in the Cold War, obviously a lot of stuff during the part of which they were Warsaw Pact, but I've not seen too much of the newer Polish stuff, other than stuff like the Ube suit and the Foo suit. What's interesting in Warwick Castle, and it's in a bit of the grounds you won't normally see. This is an interesting thing. If anybody ever goes to Warwick Castle, have a proper wander around the grounds, because there's a lot of bits in Warwick Castle where they've got all the signs up with information, but they're not in the main castle grounds, so people don't really look at them. As in, they're in the area you have to pay to get in, like where you'd pay to also view the castle, but they're not actually, in the immediate bit where the castle is. So when I've been to Warwick Castle, a lot of people might know about this, but there's a few interesting things. If you go into one of the flower gardens there, that isn't on the main section where the castle is, you can find one of those old, what they call ice houses, I think the word is. And that's where there's like an outside cellar basement thing built to, like store ice for as long as possible throughout the year, because obviously this is before refrigeration. So basically what they ended up having was like, a specialist kind of cold room built. So you can find that, and that's interesting. But that's like, again, I don't know if it's on the maps they give you, like when you pay entry, but it's certainly not close enough to the castle you'd, see it and walk over and have a look at it. So that's interesting. There's also a greenhouse kind of conservatory thing you can go in that's not labelled anywhere. Like you can see it from the outside, but what I didn't realise is if you try the door, it's unlocked, and then there's actually signs on the inside there. Yeah, both sound good, Flazzy. I suppose it depends what you're using it for, doesn't it? But yeah, and there's a few other things like that on the grounds of Warwick Castle where if you wander off far enough, you're still within the boundaries, but there's just like, random like little huts you can find and stuff like that. All right, let me have a look, Brighto, if I can look at it, because if it's a Facebook page, I might not be able to get on it. Oh, cool, I get what you mean. So it's a bit like a rebreathery looking hood that stretches over like the actual like regular mask hood. I get you. But yeah, so yeah, I wonder if you think, is Warwick Castle back open again yet? I don't know of Corona if it's open again yet. That'd be a good place to go for a day out. Assuming that you can go inside all the inside bits, it'd be a bit shit if you could only, no, it's still closed at the moment. Yeah, if you go on, I wonder if you can see this from Google Maps, if you go on Warwick Castle from Google Maps and then go to satellite. All right, I'm going to have to try and figure out where everything is on here. So I think if you look at Warwick Castle where the map is, the greenhouse bit is that bit that's near where it looks like the coach park is. And again, that's a bit that like you wouldn't necessarily know you can go into, but if you go over there, the doors are unlocked if you try it. Where's the bit with the cold room? Because obviously I don't know what year they did the photos for this. But because they've got the weird 3D map thing here as well. So yeah, there's the main entrance. I think it might be, if anybody's looking at this, there's a bit that looks a bit like a hedge maze to like the north, but I don't think that's actually a hedge maze. I think that's the like rose garden bit, and I think it's a bit near there that they've got like the cold room or whatever it's called. Because you've also got all the bits you can walk around over the other side of the river, where they've also got like a hydroelectric thing in there that's quite interesting. Again, it's quite hard to know if I'm thinking of the right bit or not, looking from obviously like the weird 3D Google Earth thing. Let me actually just see if I can find you a picture of this on Google. If I search Warwick Castle ice cellar, or what did I say they used to call it? Ice house. I know this is going completely really off topic of the stream. I'm just wondering if there's actually a Google image of this. Right, I don't know if this is actually the right one. No, this is a different thing, but right, I'll link you to this, because although this isn't the thing I'm thinking about, it's actually the sort of same thing, if that makes sense. So like one from a different property. But there you go. But I don't think that's actually the one they have on their thing. But I'm saying it's quite an interesting thing, an ice house, if you're interested in like like weird old things they used to do, before refrigeration and like freezers were common, and electricity. The idea that you could have stuff that would literally last months in there due to the design. But like I said, I don't actually, because the thing is, I can't remember, like I was saying, on the official Warwick Castle stuff, like when they give you the leaflets of like all the things on the ground, I can't even remember that thing being mentioned. There's just stuff there that if you spend enough time like poking your nose around stuff, you find. Let me put the Google map to 2D view, not 3D. Switch to 2D. Yeah, that's it. Just seeing there if it's obvious from there, but obviously if it's in a place where there's quite a lot of trees from like the satellite view, you're not going to see it. Yeah, it's not that important. I just thought it was an interesting thing to mention, where you're going on about basements and cellars and things, that you can get these like weird old ice houses and things like that. Yeah, go have a look at it then if you've got one near where you live. Because like I said, they're interesting things. It's just one of those things that you kind of can bump into by accident, and it's only if there's like a signpost next to it that you actually find out what they're for. What's a bit annoying is near me there's a manor house that used to be open to the public, where you used to pay like £1, £2, and you could go in, look around, look at all the stuff in the grounds. And since like some sort of private group bought it, they no longer like let anybody go in to look around, because I think they've turned it into like some sort of rental thing. But it's quite annoying, because that used to be interesting, where if you were really bored and couldn't think of anything to do locally, you could just literally go up there. I think they had an honesty box for it, because I don't think they even always hired people to be on the door, because it was like nobody lived there, they just some family just owned it, and then you could just walk around. Like I say, hope people wouldn't steal or smash anything up. So that's that. They're always quite interesting. But yeah, obviously the problem is at the moment, I don't know about other countries, is with all the corona stuff, loads of places still are not open in regards to like museums and parks and things like that. Like if they're just an open outdoor park, they are, but like the places where you pay for entry, and like say it's a castle and the castle grounds, a lot of those are still closed. Although I think as of Monday they should be allowed to be open, I don't really trust a lot of them will be, because again, you've then got the problem of if they have to hire a load of staff to be there, they're going to be losing more money than if they just stayed shut, I imagine, some of these places, which is always a shame, but Anyway, anything else interesting to talk about that isn't dead Prince Philip? If the chat's still working, because I've not seen any new comments in a minute or two. Let me go to live chat. Is put it on top chat again, which is always stupid. Right, I'm on live chat now, so it should mean that anybody that's a member that posts I'll actually see. Whereas the annoying thing with top chat is it will randomly just hide messages again. Yeah, Vladimir says looks like it's working. Yeah, it probably is. It's just the thing when you get loads of people who don't speak for a bit and you think the chat's broken. Because sometimes it literally is broken, where I have to end up ending a stream because people can't, reply. Right, I'll tell you what's always a good topic. Does anybody have any films that they'd recommend watching at the moment that are either on like Prime, Netflix, anything like that? Yeah, sorry, Fuzzy. It's just sometimes if everybody stops talking at once, I wonder if like the chat's somehow timed out for everybody or whatever. But there's that one I'm going to watch as long as it's still on there that Mike said about that French film, Climax, whatever it's called, which isn't a porno, despite a name like Climax and it being French. I want to watch that one. But as for stuff like, because I think they added a load more stuff to Prime recently, but they also took a load of stuff off because there was a load of stuff I wanted to watch, like I got on my watch list and I didn't realize they were taking it off. So all of a sudden I was like, oh, a load of films that I hadn't got around to watching yet were there's like a sort of found footage horror film on there that I might watch. There's Jack Frost 2. I didn't know there was a Jack Frost 2, but I might watch Jack Frost 2. Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. I mean, Jack Frost 1 is quite funny. There's loads of horror films, but I don't know if any of them are any good or any of them are really crap. Did you say it was Paranormal Entity, Mike, that Paranormal Activity ripoff? Because I'm tempted to see if that and like the one with John Wayne Gacy's in it. Yeah, I don't have a 4K TV though. I'm sure I have watched that, Mike, but I think I saw that on like Shudder over a year ago. I think I have seen that, yeah. But Rich, you want to watch the Riccio, not the anime one, you want to watch the live action film of Riccio, because that's the one where he's in prison. But yeah, I know it actually is an anime originally, but obviously part of the fun with the live action one is just how stupidly over the top and like gory it is for a live action film. Let's have a look at Paranormal Entity. Let's see if that's on there. Paranormal Entity. Oh, Paranormal Entity 2 included with your Prime membership. Did you know there's a Paranormal Entity 4 as well, Mike? But yeah, Paranormal Entity 2. Let's read the blurb. When a team of paranormal scientists set off to find the ghost of serial killer John Wayne Gacy Jr., they get a lot more action than they bargained for. And as you said, Mike, one of the blokes does get a lot of action, doesn't he? In that. Yeah, exactly. Gacy ghost bumming. Yeah, so I might watch that if I can't think of anything to watch and I'm in a mood. That might cheer me up, or it might put me in more of a mood. The thing is, I've got quite a lot of stuff on Blu-ray, like series I bought, started watching, enjoyed, and then never got through all the series. Yeah, I don't know if the first one, though, annoyingly, is actually on there, though, Mike. I reckon they might only have the shittest ones on Prime, because they probably cost the least for them to get the licenses to show. Are you on your stream tonight, Mike, at 9:30? If you are, I'll definitely catch some of the one tonight, because I'm not as tired tonight. But like I said, today's just been a bit of one of those frustrating days where sort of I had a lay-in today because I was a bit tired, but I still didn't even feel awake when I got up. But that might have been just because I had a really sort of busy day yesterday doing loads of stuff, when it hits you the next day. Yeah, like I said, with a lot of films like that, I like watching crap films because they're so crap you have to watch them to believe them. And obviously, I like good films for the sake of being good. What I always like is when I watch a film not expecting much and then think it is really good out of nowhere. But obviously, the problem with some of the films is like so many of those like so bad it's good films get so overrated for all the people saying they're like, oh my god, I saw this, it was so bad, it was amazing. But when you watch it, you're like, oh, it's just a bit crap with a couple of funny bits in it. But yes, sometimes I just want something on in the background when I'm doing other work. you know, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely catch some of yours tonight, Mike. Like I said, I don't know what time I'm going to bed yet, but like I said, because I got up later today, I'll definitely be awake when your one's on, and then hopefully I don't join at the moment. People are talking about something and get the impression that and that's what the stream's about. But yeah. Is she famous though, Nick? Because I suppose for companies like that, they could make money if it's somebody who's like famous reviewing them, like a porn star kind of thing. But if it's just random people the company sends messages to, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Could you just imagine that if like a random company starts sending you messages like, please review our dildos, please review our butt plugs? Yeah, I like Event Horizon, Luke. I've not seen that in a while, so I might rewatch that at some point. That's the one, isn't it, though, Event Horizon, where the director's cut is quite different from the original cut. So I don't know which one's the better one to watch. No, Rich, I haven't seen that. That might be worth watching, but I like a lot of those old, like, you know, kind of crappy superhero things like that. Or is it nothing of that nature that we know about, Nick? Because I know some people do, you know, have accounts like that most people don't know about. But yeah, that is a bit weird, isn't it? Like, I can understand if it was like a Belle Delphine or whatever she's called type girl, you know, that like Rich was saying earlier. Review our bathwater extractor. Like I said, I still found that funny when I watched The Burnt Face Man again recently, and there's that bit like, thank you, computer. Would you like a cup of man spider's bathwater? Well, David Firth was on that 10 years before it was a thing. Now I can't wait for Burnt Face Man episode 10 whenever that comes out, because he did a trailer for that. So I hope the trailer's not piss take. I hope he actually is doing a Burnt Face Man episode 10. But yeah, if you like David Firth stuff and haven't watched Burnt Face Man, you'll be disappointed. Yeah, I guess so, Nick. Yeah. Also, did it come in discreet packaging? Because I know people like that have got pissed off before because they've ordered stuff like that, and when it's delivered, somebody leaves it on their doorstep, and it's not actually in packaging that hides what it is. So it's like, oh look, the neighbour's got a bad dragon number 10. But yeah, all right, okay, Mike. So I'll see you on at 9:30, then I'll go off fairly soon because I'll make sure I get other stuff done before your stream, so I don't then start thinking, oh, I need to get up and do something like put something on charge or whatever before the stream. So yeah, at some point I might watch Paranormal Entity 2. I've got a load of Blu-rays, some of them behind me, where I've not got around to watching all the series yet. I ought to finish this off actually next because I'm partway through series 3 now. I've seen it all before Black Sails, but like I said, I was watching all that and enjoying it, and then for some reason I've just had that thing where like for a couple of weeks I've not watched a single episode, and I don't know why. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to do a stream tomorrow, and I'll probably do a public one tomorrow, but I'll try and remember to put slow mode on before I start it. That way, if people are spamming, it shouldn't annoy me too much. Yeah, there's also like Turkish Spider-Man as well, and Valto. My favourite one of those weird Turkish rip-off movies, I think, is Free Bev Den Adam or something it's called, and that's the one where there's Spider-Man who's a bad guy in it. It's a Terry Pratchett thing, was it? I was going to say there's also Bernard's Watch, which used to be on the BBC or ITV. And that was weird because it was about a kid who had a watch that could stop time. And in reality, I guess he'd either turn into a supervillain if you're a little kid and you could stop time. But the thing I loved about Bernard's Watch is like, Bernard borrowed this. It's like, no, he fucking stole it. He's not borrowing it. He's stopping time and taking something. That's stealing. Oh yeah, no, I forgot about all those. Yes, the Spider-Man aborts a baby type videos. Yes. Yeah, they might have just thought that, or they might have just been trying it on anyway, Rich. But yeah, Bernard's Watch is like one of those stupid like kids shows when you watch it. Like, there's one where he's doing some sort of fucking fraud, but it's like, oh, it's for charity, so it's all right. He's doing it for fraud. They don't say that, but like watching it as an adult, I was like, so he's committing fraud, but the money's going to charity, so therefore it's okay. It's like, Bernard, you are a dick. Like, imagine giving kids shows like this and imply you're installing morals in it. There is like a Bollywood Matrix, isn't there? I've seen the one where it's like a Bollywood The Terminator thing, where there's like loads of clones of the same guy and they like all do gymnastics on each other to like kill people. That's a weird film. I'm trying to remember what that's called now. It's quite famous. I think Red Letter Media have talked about it as well. But yeah, there's some very, very odd Bollywood like kind of knockoffs of things. There's loads of Bollywood films actually on Amazon Prime now. It's just I can't be asked to watch them, but they are on there. As long as it's for a good cause, Nick. Oh, no, I have stopped time and I have cut out your organs, but don't worry, we are harvesting human organs to pay for the local animal shelter. Oh, that is all right then, Bernard. That is why you've taken my organs. Can't help but, Mike, now imagine a lot of stuff like in a Jerry Jackson voice when they do stuff like that. No, I have stopped time and done this. One of the funniest ones out of Bernard's Watch I can remember when I was a kid was him and his granddad paint some woman's house. And they didn't ask her what colour she wanted. And they did it as a gift. And then when she came in, she's like, oh, as long as it's not this colour, because that colour gives me a headache. So then he pauses time, goes and gets loads of new paint and repaints the entire room so she doesn't get annoyed that they painted her room the wrong colour. But that's they could have just gone like, fuck off. No, we painted your house and you are a rate bitch. You can't appreciate the colour blue on your walls. But imagine painting somebody's house and not asking them what colour they wanted, though. That does seem weird to me. Like, oh, no, we painted your room, but we painted it this shit colour of brown we found. So every time you look at the walls, it will remind you of a dog turd. Isn't that a nice thing we did for you? Jerry Jackson stuff gets stuck in my head after watching too many Jerry Jacksons. This house smells like dog trumps and we. Right, then, I will catch your stream at 9:30. So for anybody watching now, I will probably do a stream tomorrow that will be a public one, but I'll try and remember to put slow mode on rather than just turning it into a members-only chat partway through when people keep spamming things like, what is your favourite gas mask? It's there, look. Although I need to find where the other outsert's gone for it, because it's weird only having one on there. Some of my mates can do it better than me, Mike, but that's because they're actually Northerners. So they do come from like the area David Firth's from. They're like from that sort of Leeds, sort of, you know, Yorkshire sort of area. So when they do the voices like that, it does sound a lot more authentic. I should do that. I'm an American man, and that is how American men talk. But yeah, all right, see you, Rich. But yeah, I suppose I could also just watch loads of Jerry Jacksons now before Mike's stream start, but no, I probably won't, because no. What is your favourite gas mask? My favourite gas mask is the Avon CT12, because it is very nice and rubbery. Yes, I would agree, that is a nice mask. What is your favourite mask? Oh, I am too poor to have a mask, so I have this GP5 that is covered with poo and sticks. No. Yes. And if your mother's on, I will get a video done with this soon, don't worry. Valflaz come on just as I'm going. I'll stay on another 5 minutes from then. But if your mother's on in the public bit where he can't comment, I am going to do a video on this soon. I'm going to put that PEC 14, whatever it's called, that Hype sent me, underneath so I can have a laser sight on it. And then I'll find a day when I can actually do a video on this and nobody's going to object to me shooting it. And Peach has just come on. But yeah, we've been talking about crap films and TV series, Dan. That's been about it. We were also talking about ice houses and stately homes for ages as well. And now people are trying to send me messages even on stream because I didn't put my phone on silent. I think they're talking about Prince Philip. Surprise, surprise. I can't even get away from it when I'm not streaming. All I did was send somebody a picture of Prince Philip with that Fallout filter on it, and it said, "Hey, smooth skin." But oh well, I'm in great trouble now. But have you had an alright day, Dan? I'm afraid I've not done too much of interest. They started off as a public stream, and then it just turned into loads of people asking the same generic questions over and over and over and over and over. Did you all watch the video on this, though? Because I was disappointed by how few people had watched it, despite how cool this thing is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to try. Can somebody do a deep fake thing of Prince Philip so we can have a, like, ghoul Prince Philip say, "Hey, smooth skin"? But I'll put the picture on Twitter for you, Mike, so you know which one I'm on about. But it's basically they've just got a picture of Prince Philip where he looks like a zombie because he's like 99. Well, I mean, this is a laser pen I've got here. This is a blue dot, this one. It's a very hot blue dot. As in, just for the people who hadn't seen it the other day, let's get a chunk of cardboard. I think the batteries in this have enough charge that it'll work. Right. See? It's good. This is good fun. But it smells horrible, especially if you burn plastic with it. But yeah, barely anybody watched the video on this, and I thought this is fucking cool for most people. Because I've got an old 200 milliwatt that used to burn things, but it's nowhere near as efficient as this one. Yes, 2 watts, Peach. If I shine it at the webcam, it will actually damage the sensor on that. You can find videos on YouTube where people have 2 watt. Oh, cheers, chocolate muffin. You can find videos on YouTube where people have 2 watt ones, and they've actually done videos of like the first person of a webcam being destroyed by a 2 watt laser. They're kind of interesting, but you know, so I suppose I could do streams like this more often if it interests people. As in, you know, where I normally do the members streams where they're like a private members stream, and I'll definitely do those because that's better when people want to talk about mental health or whatever. I don't mind doing these more often, so it gives people an incentive who aren't members to maybe sign up for membership, because they can sort of see that everybody's actually chatting about stuff more in depth, because it's not turned into, what is your favourite gas mask? My favourite gas mask is the CT12, or... Yeah, it's definitely worth watching, Mike. Did you see the little short I did at night where you can see it's like a proper laser? Well, I mean, I know it is a laser, but, you know, where it actually you see the beam going all the way into the sky. You might have even commented, like, to me about it, but... Yeah, that's the thing with these, is when you get the powerful lasers, you can see the beams regardless, because of the fact that, you know, you don't need it to be, like, really foggy for the laser to be visible. With the weaker lasers, you do, but when they get, like, you know, higher in wattage. So, you know, this is 2 watt. Next I need a 40 watt laser. Yeah, I'll definitely do more of them, Mike, because they're good to do if you can't really think of a good subject to do on a gas mask or whatever. And as far as I'm aware, as much as YouTube hates guns now, they haven't said much about setting stuff on fire with lasers yet. Well, like that. I'm definitely going to have these on, Luke, because you get this in your eye. You're going to get laser eye surgery, whether you like it or not. Another cool thing of this that some of you may or may not have seen is, look what happens when you shine it at things which glow in the dark. Makes glow in the dark stuff glow in the dark for a bit, because of the you know, the fact it excites the phosphors in it quite intensely. Here's the scary thing with infrared and UV. Can't you have stuff that's into the spectrum enough that you can't pick it up with your senses, but it can still horrifically blind you? Wow, chocolate muffin. In the UK, despite lots of our shit laws, laser pens in the UK are only illegal if you shine them at aircraft or cars, or, you know, into people's eyes. The cool thing with like lasers, and this really surprised me in the UK because I thought it wouldn't be like this at all, but in the UK it turns out that, yeah, if you own a laser pen, you can basically own one that would be capable of, if you could afford it and had the cooling and whatever, of like turning people into ash, as long as you didn't do that with it. So we're kind of quite libertarian, it turns out, when it comes to laser pens. It's only if you harm other people with them that you get seriously done, but you're allowed to own them. Like a while ago, apparently they did do a thing of, oh, we should probably make it so you're not really allowed them over the 10 milliwatt, and they never voted on it. Well, don't look into it, and you tried it, did you, Flazzy? But yeah, or do you mean like you could see that in fact it was a dull red light and you thought I better not look into it? Right, Hype has them for sale. So if you watch enough of these videos, you'll know who Hype is. Because again, in the comments, I had loads of people saying, where did you get it? Despite the fact it said in the description and the video where I got it. And basically, he can buy them direct from the Chinese manufacturer and then sell them to people. I mean, you'd have to check the law in your country that you can buy them. But yeah, he sent me this one as a gift. And I think he was saying they're about $50 for the 2-watt ones now. But yeah, he found videos of people demonstrating them in China where they were just shining them at other people. And you think, right, that person's not going to last long before the CCP drags them off to the gulag. Yeah, and then it destroys the evidence, doesn't it, Newt? Well, sadly, not very efficiently. Because for those of you that don't know, with a 2-watt one, let me just show you what happens, because it's funny. If I shine this at my hand, it feels like somebody's put like a burning needle into your hand. As soon as this starts burning, it does that. You can see it's actually made the flesh swell up a little bit where it's done it. You probably can't make that out, but it looks like a little pimple there now. But yeah, did you miss it, Chocolate Muffin, when I just literally showed that a minute ago? Look, I'll show you again. If you watch the video on it, you'll see it burn stuff. But actually, tell you what, this will burn more efficiently. Let me show you this. Right, here's a piece of card. It's grey on that side. It's blue on that. It's from the top of my ulcerative colitis medication thing. Ready? Should burn through. Yeah, there we go. It's burning through. The only thing is this drains the batteries very quickly. I'll turn that off now because otherwise it's going to stink like shit. But there you go. You can see it's done a... Oh, that's covered in plasticky stuff. That's why it didn't burn so well. It smells like shit. Yeah, burning plastic fumes are horrible. So I suppose, yeah, you could have your gas mask on with the filters so you can't smell the burning fumes. But yeah, the only problem with these is the batteries drain really fast. I've ordered some higher capacity ones, but it takes the two little 3.7 volt batteries. What are they called? 16340. Like half the length of the bigger ones, but they're the same voltage. So it's basically like having one of the other ones in, but double the voltage in there. But the problem is, like, I'd say every minute this laser is on, even if you turn it on and off for like 5 seconds in a time, I say every minute it loses quite a lot of its power because of the fact, obviously, it's 2 watts, so it drains them pretty quickly. Well, yeah, that's it, Fuzzy. These are basically, one of these is equivalent to an 18650 in size, but it's double the voltage. So it's like having an 18650 running at 7.4 volts, not 3.7 volts. But yeah, these are very cool things, because like I said, my older laser pen, which I showed some of you on the stream the other day, that can burn stuff, but it's not as efficient because it's only 200 milliwatt. Although it has got a better focusing cup. That was this one. So that's this one. And again, this one can burn stuff. Let me see if I can demonstrate it. Although these safety glasses aren't the right wavelength for it, they do stop you, you know, seeing the worst of it burning things, as in your eyes. This one doesn't really burn your skin. Let me just get this focused. This might need the batteries charged in it again, actually. All right, so as you can see, that's yeah, that I don't know if that's visible on there. That does, if you keep it quite still, start burning things. But it's like with your movement compared to the other one, just a little bit of movement from your you know, hand stops it doing efficient. Let me see how focused I can get it up close, like point blank. Yeah, let's just see if it will burn if I hold it there like that. But it might not, because as I said, this one is like 1/10 of the power of the other one. No. So this one, like I said, this one does burn stuff, but this is the sort of one where you need it like laying flat on the surface with it turned on. You know, whereas the 2-watt one, because it's 10 times as powerful, you know, a little bit of contact. Like this one, I can't feel it burn my skin. The 2-watt, like a second on your skin, it feels like somebody's actually punctured your skin with a burning needle. Yeah, but imagine how much power that would use, Peach. That's the problem. 50 of them. 50 of them, right. So 50 of them combined, that would be 100 watt. I mean, I'd rather have 20 of them combined because then it's a 40 watt, you know, 40 watt plasma gun. So I definitely need them in the purple color, don't I? Because it's the blue violet plasmas for you know, I've got the 40 watt plasma rifle, but yeah. Here's the thing, Chocolate Muffin. In the UK, I don't know if you could legally carry them on you for an EDC thing, but I could certainly imagine a laser pen would be something that would be a lot more justifiable if you're out in the woods that you could have on you as like a signaling device. And in all honesty, I'm not even on about shining it in people's eyes. It, like a flashlight, it's like that, but even more efficient. You know, you would not want somebody shining that in your face if, you know, you were trying to attack them. All right, so does the color, Vladimir, then affect how well it cooks people? That's interesting to know. Right. So one of them cooks you more efficiently from the inside. The purple is more efficient at causing skin burns. Did you buy it off of him, Stug, and now are you going to flip it for a higher price? Oh, yeah, that's interestingly, Newt. We're going into the proper members stream discussions now as I wanted to go off. The reason in Fallout, like, they can have that tech is because of the fact they have fusion batteries and thing and, like, micro fusion cells. That's kind of the cool bit of the Fallout lore, is America developed, like, tiny nuclear batteries for everything. That's why everything, like, has an atomic explosion when it explodes. And they can have functioning laser guns because they have fusion-powered batteries. You know, where in reality, we can build massive fission generators and that's about it. But in Fallout's universe, they made fusion tiny, but they don't have modern electronics. It's kind of that funny, like, weird thing about it. Oh, you could definitely start fires with it, Chocolate Muffin. Not wanting to be a pyromaniac, but they definitely start fires. Like, obviously, a lighter is more efficient for starting a fire in terms of fuel consumption. But yeah, if you had some dry sticks and that, you put it point blank against them, turned it on, they set on fire very, you know, thing. It's like having a magnifying glass on essentially, you know, it's like a magnifying glass of the sun, just more intense. But yeah, I'm tempted at some point after payday to maybe buy some more of those laser pens from Hype, because I wouldn't mind getting a green and red one in those sort of power ranges now, you know, just because of how good it is having a blue one of that strength, and because of the fact that, you know, I can tell from this that it's well constructed, you know, it's not going to break easily. It's just a shame that they don't do custom focusing cups for these, because I'd love, you know, like some custom ones of these so you could have different intensities of focus. Right, yeah, I'll let you go, Mike. I'll go off now, otherwise I'm going to carry on chatting. But yeah, we'll do a public stream tomorrow. And why don't we do a public stream tomorrow talking about films and laser pointers? And we'll stop people turning it into a what's your favourite gas mask. And then we can have a public stream where everybody enjoys it. Anyway, I hope people have enjoyed watching, even if they couldn't come on with a membership thing. Right, Chocolate Muffin, before I go off, isn't green the most visible to the human eye? But obviously blue is closer to ultraviolet on the wavelength. So technically, blue ones come closer to UV and X-rays in terms of the wavelength. They're still quite a way off because it's visible light. So red would be closer to infrared, and then obviously blue would be closer to ultraviolet. So I assume ultraviolet is more dangerous to the skin at the blue end because it's more likely to cause skin cancers from ionization. But I don't know about the science of that. But what I do know is obviously if you look at the visible light spectrum, shorter wavelength is blue because then that goes into ultraviolet, you know, and then X-rays. And then on the other end of it, red is like at the widest bit of the wavelength because then it goes into infrared. Right, fuck you who said my favourite gas mask, but just to answer you in, my favourite gas mask is the Avon CT12 because it looks right nice, even though this one, I don't know where that bit went, but it's gone, so there, and it ain't got a filter on it, so, oh, no, John, there you go. have a good evening. I will see you on Mike's stream. And now I have to answer the hundreds of messages I've been sent while I'm streaming about Prince Philip.